Hello viewers, we are going to discuss how to solve numericals in the basic electrical engineering, that is first year subjects paper, fundamentals of electrical engineering also it is called as. Let us start with the first question. You can see over here you have to calculate the current flowing through 8 ohm resistance for the circuit shown by superposition theorem. Now you should first very carefully read the whole problem. If at all it is not mentioned that which particular way is to be used, which particular theorem is to be used, it is as per your own convenience and comfort that you will be choosing the method. But if at all it is mentioned by a particular method, you will have to use that particular method. Okay, for example, the same problem over here is to be solved by superposition theorem, could have been solved by Kirchhoff's as well. But if it is solved by Kirchhoff's and it is asked to be solved by superposition, you won't be getting any mark. Okay, so be very careful, read it thoroughly so that you can exactly understand what is asked. Okay, so here you can see you have to find out the current flowing through 8 ohm resistance. Okay, and you have to use superposition theorem. Okay. Now what do you do in superposition theorem? You consider only one source at a time, find out its effect, then you consider a second source and find out its effect, and then finally you superimpose the effects so that you can find out the particular effect, and that means any particular voltage, branch voltage, or any particular branch current. Okay, so over here it is asked to find out the current flowing through 8 ohm. Right, so let us proceed by considering the 250 volt source acting alone. So you can see over here 250 volt source is shown like this. Okay, rest of the things remaining absolutely same, but now instead of this 75 you will be having a short circuit. Now what is the terminology behind short circuiting a voltage source and open circuiting a current source is ideally we say that while neglecting a source, it should be substituted or replaced by the internal resistance of the source. Okay, so when I say a voltage source, what is the internal resistance of voltage source? Ideally it should be 0, right? Similarly, when I say it in case of current source, the internal resistance of a current source, that should be we normally have that resistance in parallel, and that is infinite. Okay, and the voltage source has got that series resistance, very low value as it is in series. Okay, and ideally speaking it should be 0. Right, now here if at all in the problem it is given to you about the internal resistances of the batteries, you have to replace those batteries with that internal resistance. But if at all the internal resistance is not been given to you, that itself means that a voltage source should be replaced by a short, or a current source is to be replaced by an open circuit. Right, so what do I do is, instead of 75 volts, you can see over here I have shorted. Okay, so this is the new circuit. Now it is 250 volts battery, the 5 ohm resistance, this 5 ohm resistance, 10, 8. So rest of the things remaining absolutely same, but the another source is just shorted, being a voltage source. Okay, now let us solve this particular problem. Now you have 250 volt source over here, so you can see over here the current passing will be the total current will be passing through 5 ohms, and then it is getting divided as from 5 back and from 10 and 8 back. Okay, so what is meant by that? The current flowing through 10 and 8 is same, so 10 and 8 is in series, so 18 and 5 will be in parallel because the current flowing through them is different. Okay, so whenever you are caught in a trap, whether it is a series circuit or a parallel circuit, you just have to see whether the current is same or current is different. If the current is same, it is series circuit. If current is getting divided, it is parallel circuit. Okay, so what is the parallel combination of 18 and 5? It is 18 into 5 upon 18 plus 5. Okay, so mind well that gone are the days when you used to calculate it as 1 upon r is equal to 1 upon r1 plus 1 upon r2. Okay, now at this stage when you are studying in engineering first year, it should be calculated as product upon the sum, r1 r2 upon r1 plus r2. Okay, so it will be product upon the sum, so 18 into 5 upon 18 plus 5. Okay, so this will be 3.913. One more thing to be just one more thing to be told over here is this value, the parallel combinations value, will be always lesser than the less value. Okay, so if it is a parallel combination of 5 and 18, it has to be lesser than 5. Okay, if it is a parallel combination of 400 and 0.4, let us say, the value has to be lesser than 0.4. Okay, so that is the way you can tally the answer whether you are going in a right direction or not. Okay, so finally we are settling down to a simple series circuit. So 250 volt, 5 ohm and 3.913. So you can find out the total current supplied by the battery as 250 upon 5 plus 3.913, that is 8.913. okay, 28.0489. okay, so this is the total current. Is this the current we want? No, we want the current flowing through 8 ohm resistance, right? You can see over here 8 ohm resistance, right? So what we do is the way we follow for the resistance solving, exactly the reverse way we follow for the current division, right? So this was the last step. Just before that, this is the current division. Okay, so I want to find out this first current division over here, because I want to find out the current flowing through 8 ohm, right? The current flowing through 8 and 10 is same, so 18 is same, right? So I want to find out the current flowing through 18. What will it be? It will be 5 upon 5 plus 18 into the total current. Okay, so it will be 5 upon 5 plus 18 into total current is 28.0489. okay, so that comes out to be 6.0976 amperes. Okay, do not ever forget to write the unit, otherwise it will be unnecessary deduction of half mark. Okay, so remember every time that you will be writing down the units. If it is current, you will have to write down amperes. Okay, now this is the first value. This is the effect from the first source. Okay, now let us consider the second source. Now when we consider the second source, see 250 volts is now short circuited. Okay, so 5 ohm, 5 ohm, 10, 8 and this is 75. Okay, so you can see over here this is the parallel combination of these two, because the current will be flowing from here. It always comes out from positive like this, it will be traversing, and over here it will be getting divided into 5 and 5. Okay, so when two equal resistances are connected in parallel, the effective resistance is half of it. Okay, so if it is 4 4, it will be 2. So if it is 5 5, it will be 2.5. okay, so what will it be now? The current supplied by the battery, it will be 75 upon 10 plus 8 plus 2.5, because it is simply a series circuit now. Okay, so you can see over here it will be 75 upon 20 plus 5, that is 3.6585. okay, now you can see over here the same current is flowing through 8. okay, so you do not have to find out any parallel combination or any current division, right? Because whatever is the current supplied by the battery is totally flowing through this 8 ohm, right? But the thing to be noted over here is, you can see from here, this is the positive terminal, so current will be passing like this and passing like this. So from 8 it is moving from up to down, right? But when I talk about this source, how is it moving? This is the positive polarity, so current will be flowing like this, so it will be flowing from down to up. So if I am talking about 8 ohm resistance, it will be 6.0976 minus 3.6585, that will be 2.4391 amperes. Okay, so point to be noted over here is, while superimposing the things, like when we are considering both the source now, the effect, we will be superimposing both the effects, but direction is also important while superimposing. It is just not addition. Okay, so you have to see the direction also. Since the directions were opposite, it will be 1 minus 2. So it will be 6.0976 minus 3.6585, and that is equal to 2.4391 amperes. Okay, now let us start with the next problem. It is given as an RL series circuit. You have been given the value of resistance, the value of inductance and the value of voltage source. Okay, so what you will be doing, very first thing you have to do in the AC fundamentals problem is, if at all inductance or capacitance is given to you, you'll have to convert it into XL or XC, that is inductive reactance or inductive or capacitive reactance, right? The very first thing I did over here is I found out what is XL. Okay, so XL is equal to 2 pi FL, so it will be 2 pi into 50 into 15.5 into 10 to the power minus 3, because it is given in millihenry, and what is the standard unit? It is Henry. So I'll have to convert it into Henry. So I am multiplying over here by 10 to the power minus 3. So it gives me 4.8695 ohm. Okay. So now Henrys are converted into ohms. Okay. Now what will be the Z's value now? Now Z will be R plus JXL. Why plus JXL? Because it is inductive reactance. If this would have been capacitive reactance, I would have written is R minus JXC. Right, but this is inductive reactance given to you, so you'll be writing it as R plus JXL. Okay, so it is 5 ohm is given as resistance, so 5 plus J 4.8695 is the XL value I have got in the first step, right? So this is R plus JXL form, that means this is rectangular form. Okay, I'll have to convert this into polar form, because if I want to find out current as V by Z, I want to do the division. In case of division, which form I want? I want always polar form for the division and multiplication, and it is always rectangular form which is needed for addition and subtraction. Okay, so in the next step, just because I want to find out current by the division, I'll have to have Z's polar form. So I'm converting this 5 plus J 4.8695 into polar form as 6.9794 at an angle 44.2424. Okay, point to be noted over here is when I input any plus J value, that is imaginary part, when inputted as positive, the angle has to be positive. You can see over here. Okay, so current will be equal to V by Z. The voltage is given to you as 230, so I'll be taking it as 230 angle 0, because no angle is given, that means the angle must be 0. Okay, divided by, it will be the polar form of Z, so it will be 6.9794 at an angle 44.2424. Okay, so that gives out as it will be simply division of the magnitudes, so it will be 230 divided by 6.9794, that comes out to be 32.954. Okay, angle it will be numerator's phase minus denominator's phase. So numerator's phase is 0 and denominator's phase is 44.2424. That means what will be the phase? It will be minus 44.2424. Okay, always point to be noted over here is, in case of inductive circuits, the current is always lagging, and it is depicted by this minus sign of the angle as minus 44. Okay, so the phase angle will be 44.2424, and whenever you will be writing anything regarding power factor or phase, you'll have to write along with that as lagging. Okay, since it is inductive circuit, it has to be lagging. Okay, and what will be power? Power will be equal to VI cos phi, voltage magnitude, so it will be 230 multiplied by current's magnitude in polar form, it is 32.954 multiplied by cos of 44.2424. Okay, so point to be noted over here is, I have taken the magnitudes of V and I, okay, and multiplied by cos of this. What is this angle? Basically is the angle of current, isn't it? You can see over here. Okay, so VI cos phi, and that gives out 5429.8749 watts. Okay, I can convert it into kilowatts as 5.4299 kilowatts. Okay, so that completes our second problem. Let us move to the next one. It's on transformer. A 100 kVA 100 by 230 volts 50 hertz transformer has iron loss of 400 watts, and the resistances of both the windings, primary and secondary, are given to you. The power factor is given to be as unity, that means it is a resistive load, isn't it? And you have to calculate the efficiencies on full load and half load. The very first step I'll be doing over here is find out what are the full load primary and secondary currents. Okay, how do you find it out? You are given what is kVA rating. Okay, so 100 into 10 cube is equal to V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2. Okay, so 100 into 10 cube is equal to 100 into I1, and 100 into 10 cube is equal to 230 into I2. That gives me values of I1 and I2. So it comes out to be I1 as 1000 amperes and I2 as 434.7826 amperes. Okay, again you can see whenever it is step up voltage, it is step down of current. If it is step down of voltage, it is step up of current. Okay, why? Because V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2, right? Okay, so you can see over here is 100 by 230, that means it is step up transformer. Okay, but you can see the current's value step down. Okay, so 1000 by 434.7826. Okay, unless until specifically mentioned, whenever I say step up or step down, it is always voltage. Okay, so when I say step up transformer, it is always the secondary voltage greater than the primary voltage. When I say step down, it is secondary voltage less than the primary voltage, right? So whenever I say step up or step down, generally it is always the voltage. Okay, so the second point, you have to find out the full load copper loss, because you are given in the problem what are R1 and R2, like primary winding resistance and secondary winding resistance is given to you. Okay, so from here you can find out what is full load copper loss as I1 square R1 plus I2 square R2. Okay, you have the values of I1 and I2 from the first step, and you have been given the values of R1 and R2 from the problem itself. Okay, so that value comes out to be 159.228.7274 watts. Okay, now the very first thing you will be calculating the full load efficiency. So full load, that means the load is given to you as it is, you will be taking. So you'll, instead of writing it as V2 I2 cos phi 2, you'll be just writing out your kVA rating. So kVA is 100 into 10 cube multiplied by what is cos phi, it is given as 1, right? Power factor given as 1. Upon it will be 100 into 10 cube into 1 again, plus it will be losses, right? Now the first loss, that is iron loss, is given to you as 400, and that is going to be same throughout because it's a constant loss. Okay, plus it will be whatever is the full load copper loss. Okay, and whatever is this multiplied by 100 is going to give you the efficiency value. Okay, so that comes out to be 37.42%. Okay, the next value is half load. Now the moment you say half load, the output will be divided by 2. Okay, so 100 into 10 cube into 1 divided by 2. Okay, in the denominator again it will be V2 I2 cos phi 2 by 2. Why? Because it is half load. Okay, plus it will be constant loss as it is, that is 400, plus now the variable loss will be divided by 4. Why divided by 4? Because this is the loss which is proportional to square of the current. Okay, so if the current is twice, this loss will be 4 times. If the current is half, this loss will be 1/4. Okay, so that is how the value into 100 of course it will be, so that comes out to be 55.428%. Okay, so this is one paper. Let us deal with another now. Yes, so the first problem over here is to find out the resistance, equivalent resistance RAB. Okay, so it is simply a star delta problem you have to see, but any star delta problem when you start, you will have to just find out if at all it is can be simplified by simple series parallel. Okay, so you can see over here, if current is entering from here, okay, so it will be divided into 3 and 4. Okay, so you can redraw the diagram like this. Is it okay? Yes. The next thing is, you can see over here is when the current is traversing like this, over here the current flowing through 10 and 9 is same. Okay, so I can reduce it to 19 and I can redraw the diagram like this. Okay, so let the delta look like delta, let the star look like star. Okay, and whatever you are going to do in the next step should be shown by dashed lines. Okay, so I have shown this delta and this delta to be converted in the next step as stars. Okay, so you can see over here is I have converted this delta into star, I have converted this delta into star, this 5 and this 7 remaining as it is. Okay, so it becomes this value will be 3 into 4 upon 3 plus 4 plus 3. Okay, so product of neighbors upon the sum. Again this will be 4 into 3 upon 4 plus 3 plus 3, product of neighbors upon the sum. Again this will be 3 into 3 upon 3 plus 4 plus 3, so this will be again product upon the sum. Okay, again this 5 and 7 remaining same. Over here it will be this will be 8 into 6 upon 8 plus 6 plus 19. This will be 16 into 9 upon 8 plus 19 plus 6. Okay, and what will be this? This will be 8 into 19 upon 8 plus 19 plus 6. Okay, so you can see over here, if current is getting divided and the current flowing through 0.95 and 1.4545 is same. Okay, so these three are in series. Similarly these three are in series, and both these then will be in parallel. Okay, so you have to find out the parallel combination of this. So it will be 1.2 plus 4.5091 plus 4.6061, that comes out to be 10.3152. Okay, the next one is you have to find out the voltage drop across 2 ohm resistor using Kirchhoff's laws. Okay, now if it is said by Kirchhoff's laws, it has to be solved by Kirchhoff's laws. If you solve it by any other method, you won't be getting marks. Okay, okay, so just to give you an example, see over here I have solved it by simple you can see over here is, see this is 6 ohm. You don't have to solve it by star delta. Okay, so what you will be doing over here is, this is one loop, this is another loop, and this is third loop. You have to have 3 loops and 3 equations, and you have to solve it. Okay, so don't have to solve like this. Getting my point? Okay, the next one is the current in a circuit is given by 4.5 plus J12. Okay, so current is given to you and voltage is also given to you. Okay, so current is given to you, voltage is given to you. Okay, you have to find out what is z. So what will be z? It will be simply v by z, v by I, isn't it? But since I have to do the division, I'll have to convert both these values into polar form. These values are right now given in the rectangular form, but what is the value you need in case of multiplication and division? It is polar form, right? So let me convert these into polar form. So z is equal to v by I, so it will be 180.2776 at an angle 56.31. Similarly, the denominator is converted into polar form. Okay, and what will be now the division? It will be simple division of the magnitudes, and the angle will be numerator phase minus denominator phase. So the angle comes out to be minus 13.134. The moment z is having minus phase, or the moment I say I has got positive phase, means the current is leading. Okay, when the current is leading, the impedance has to be capacitive. Okay. Yes, the power consumed again will be VI cos phi. So what is voltage's magnitude? It will be polar form's magnitude. So 180.2776 multiplied by current's magnitude, again polar form 12.816 multiplied by cos of current's phase. So it will be cos of 69.444. Okay, so that comes out to be 811.2471. And what will be power factor? Power factor is always cos of the angle of the current. Okay, so you can see over here cos of 69.44 as 0.3512. Now whenever you write power factor's value, it has to be written whether it is leading or lagging. Okay, the moment I say it is capacitive, I have to write over here about the power factor as leading. Okay, the next one is an inductor of 0.5 Henry, and resistance is given to you. The series combination is connected in parallel with 20 microfarad capacitor. A voltage of 230 volt 50 hertz is given across it. Okay, so you have to determine the current in each branch and the total power consumed. Okay, the very first thing you will be doing is you will be finding out XL as 2 pi FL, okay, and XC as 2 pi FC. Fine. Okay, so XL is equal to 2 pi FL. You will be finding out Z1 as R plus JXL. So it will be 90 plus J 157.0796. You will have to convert this again into polar form also. Okay, the next thing is you will have to find out what is Z2's values. Z2 will be minus JXC. Why minus JXC? Because it is only capacitor given to you. Okay, so it will be minus JXC. So it will be minus J 1 upon 2 pi FC. Okay, so it will be minus J XC, and you will be writing then Z as Z1 Z2 upon Z1 plus Z2. Okay, once you have this equivalent impedance, you will have to find out current as V by Z. So it will be 230 upon whatever Z you have got as Z1 Z2 upon Z1 plus Z2. Okay, and you will be then finding out the value of I1 as V by Z1 and I2 as V by Z2. Okay, I'll continue with the next problems in the next video. Okay, till then, thank you.